I decided, or we all decided, that it was in my best interest to go to do the RBC, the Recovery Boot Camp side of it. And, things were a lot different this time. I realized that I couldn't just do things on my own. I was much more willing to take people's suggestions, and the good thing about going into Recovery Boot Camp is all the people that work there know how it is. Sorry. A lot of them have been through that, and almost the exact same situation. They know how relapse works. They know that we get broken down. They knew I was hurting. They knew I was sad and embarrassed. But I was welcomed back with that same attitude. It felt like I was home again, and I felt safe immediately. And the people that work there really care. When I started going to the groups, I learned so much more about AA and the Big Book and why things work for people who are working that type of program, and basically how they just laid out a full platform of how to be successful in recovery and be happy. And it's just that same attitude, and having that Recovery Boot Camp side of it really was the turning point for me, because I was able to learn so much more. And since then things have been good. I was able to get my program back on track and be happy again. The people there were so great, and I learned a lot, and it was cool to be able to go to the place where people doing the right thing is the cool thing, and it's the norm, and everybody's working steps and actively participating and is there to help each other. Having a therapist is awesome. My therapist is in recovery. She knew a lot of what I was going through. She was able to relate with me, not just on a therapeutic level, but just on a personal level. She was easy to talk to. She kind of was able to get me to go out of my comfort zone a little bit, and that was where I was able to kind of learn about myself a little bit in that sense. And I had always gotten around by lying to therapists, and that wasn't the case this time. She was able to really help me, and I was able to really grow because of that. The attitude's a lot more serious in an all-male facility. It's at first, it may be intimidating for some people. For me, it definitely was. But the moment that I got there, everybody was really easy to talk to, and there was a lot more. There's a lot less distractions, and because I know that whenever I was in my first halfway and even my first treatment center, I got caught up, a little distracted by the women, and I ended up relapsing after that, and I wasn't able to focus on myself, and I was always just trying to impress someone. It was always for someone else. But having an all-male facility makes it really easy to be able to relate with all the guys that live there. Everybody's going through the same stuff. Everyone has trouble with girls, but having just guys there takes away any of that animosity or anything like that. So whenever I relapsed, I had gone home for Christmas, and I had burned a lot of bridges that I had spent a little bit of time trying to get back to a healthy, functioning relationship. And nowadays, after I've been working on it and working on my program and trying to make those amends, and having spent time talking to some of the guys that live at Healing Properties, I've been able to right those wrongs, and I've been able to get back to where I can call my dad and not feel ashamed and not be scared that he's going to know something, or feel like I'm constantly hiding something from him or from anyone. And it's just having that removal of that fear that really drives me to keep doing what I'm doing. And because I was so consumed by fear and being too afraid to pick up the phone when my dad or my mom calls, or anyone for that matter, I never want to go back to that point in time. I was so miserable. And I just feel really fortunate and thankful and grateful that I have faith that everything will be okay.